Could the most charming person in the room also be the most dangerous? Welcome to a deep dive into the psyche of the dark empath, a rare but fascinating personality type. This intriguing blend of empathy with the dark triad traits, narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy, creates a paradox that is as beguiling as it is perilous. Understanding this personality is not just an academic exercise, it's a crucial tool for navigating complex human interactions. Stay tuned as we explore the 5 signs that might indicate someone is a dark empath. First sign, an irresistible charm that hides a manipulative core. Picture someone who walks into a room and instantly the air seems to shift, warmth radiates and smiles bloom. This is the dark empath at their most deceptive. They have a unique ability, a kind of emotional intelligence that allows them to read the room, understand deep-seated fears and aspirations, and then tailor their interactions perfectly to each individual. Let's take an example. Imagine a team at work struggling to choose between 2 project directions. Enter the dark empath, who listens intently, nodding, empathizing. They appear deeply concerned about everyone's input but subtly steer the conversation towards the option that serves their own agenda. By the end of the meeting, the team feels it was a collaborative decision. But in reality, it was a masterful orchestration by the dark empath. Their charm isn't just disarming, it's a tool crafted for control. Second sign, they feed on your emotions. Dark empaths excel in an unnervingly subtle art, recognizing and extracting emotional energy from those around them. This process isn't as overt as one might imagine. It begins with an almost magnetic charm, a knack for making others feel deeply understood and supported in their most vulnerable moments. Consider the scenario of a colleague who always seems to be there when you're at your lowest. At first, their presence feels like a beacon of hope. They listen, they empathize, they offer words of comfort that seem tailored just for you. However, this is not merely a generous sharing of emotional labor. For a dark empath, these interactions are transactions. Over time, the same colleague might begin to subtly remind you of past confessions during moments of disagreement, or use your disclosed fears as leverage in discussions. It becomes clear that every comforting embrace was also a moment for them to gather intel. It's not just support, it's collecting ammunition. Third sign, the master of playing the victim. The dark empath thrives on sympathy. They have honed the art of portraying themselves as perennial victims, often weaving intricate tales of personal hardships. These stories are emotionally charged, crafted to pull at the heartstrings of their audience. The aim? To garner unwavering sympathy and support. Consider the example of someone who frequently exaggerates the difficulties they face. Every challenge is a saga, every inconvenience a catastrophe. This isn't just about seeking attention. It's a strategic move. By appearing fragile and burdened, the dark empath manipulates others into providing support, or even absolving them of responsibilities. What makes this behavior particularly insidious is its subtlety. It's not overtly malicious, but it is manipulative. It plays on the natural human instinct to help those in need, turning empathy into a tool of control. Their tales of woe are often a smokescreen for their own agendas. Fourth sign, their empathy comes with terms and conditions. Picture this. An individual who appears deeply compassionate and understanding when the eyes of the world are watching. They might console a colleague loudly in a crowded room or offer to help someone in a way that's sure to be noticed. This is the hallmark of the dark empath's selective empathy. In these public displays, their behavior is calculated, designed to cultivate an image of kindness and reliability. But when the audience disappears, so does their empathy. Behind closed doors, this same individual might dismiss the concerns they once seemed to champion, or worse, become dismissive and cold. This selective show of empathy is not born of genuine concern, but is a strategic move to enhance their social standing or manipulate others' perceptions. It's empathy used as a social tool, not as a heartfelt connection. Their empathy isn't a trait, it's a strategy. Fifth and final sign, coldly rational, even in emotional situations. While the dark empath might be gifted with high emotional intelligence, this doesn't necessarily translate into warm empathy for others. Instead, they can harness this understanding in a way that serves their own ends, remaining detached and calculating when it suits their purposes. Consider the scenario of a workplace crisis. While others are overwhelmed by the stress and emotional turmoil, a dark empath can use this situation to their advantage. They might appear to offer support, but behind the scenes, they're positioning themselves to gain from the upheaval. By keeping their emotions in check, they can make strategic moves that others, clouded by their feelings, might overlook. This cold rationality allows them to manipulate situations and people with a surgeon's precision. They don't simply react, they plan, they strategize, they execute. In the midst of emotional chaos, where most are lost, the dark empath is playing a different game altogether. Where others see chaos, they see a chessboard. Recognizing a dark empath isn't just about spotting the signs, it's about protecting yourself. As we wrap up our exploration, let's revisit the 5 key signs of a dark empath, a personality type wrapped in an intriguing blend of empathy and malice. First, we discussed the charming manipulator. Dark empaths use their charisma not merely to engage, but to ensnare. Their charm is a tool finely honed to manipulate others subtly and skillfully, often leaving their targets none the wiser until much later. Next, we identified the emotional leech. These individuals do not just recognize emotions, they exploit them. They drain energy and emotional strength from those around them, often leaving a trail of emotional exhaustion. Our third sign was the expert victim. Dark empaths are adept at twisting any situation to appear as the aggrieved party. This manipulation tactic not only garners them sympathy, but also deflects any scrutiny away from their own actions. The fourth sign, selective empathy, reveals their ability to turn their empathetic responses on and off like a switch. They choose whom to show empathy to, based primarily on their own needs and desires, ignoring others who might genuinely need compassion. Lastly, we covered cold rationality. Dark empaths possess a calculated approach to life, using their intellectual understanding of emotions to strategize and control, rather than to connect and empathize. These traits make dark empaths particularly difficult to detect and challenging to deal with. Awareness of these signs is crucial. It empowers you to recognize potentially harmful patterns in relationships and to take steps to protect your emotional health. Awareness is your shield. Keep these signs in mind to safeguard your emotional well-being.